Hi guys. Okay, so this is a trade I did this morning on Wednesday. Now, if you've been following me, I normally trade London breakout strategy when it's the pound against the US dollar. But today I traded it slightly differently. And the reason was, I'll just explain what London breakout strategy first of all for those of you who don't know. Basically, the London breakout strategy is you have the Asian session here, which runs from midnight to 8 o'clock in the morning UK time, and literally as it gets to once 8 o'clock London session opens, you either go long or short depending on whether it breaks out the box. And here I've got 5-minute candlesticks. Okay, some traders use 10, 15 minutes. I use 5-minute candlesticks. But today, this morning on Wednesday, this Asian session here was really wide, about 100 pips. Which normally when it's that wide, you're not going to get a very good breakout, I found from experience. But the main thing here was this, you see this red candlestick here, and these are 5-minute candlesticks, by the way, and that just literally dropped. And the reason was because there was an economic news report that came out for the pound. So here in the UK, the report came out, and you go to Forex Factory, forexfactory.com, which I always check before I start trading. You can see here, basically you have the currencies here, you have the boxes here, and the red indicates it's going to be high impact on your trade. It's going to get very volatile. Just click on the folder here. I've explained this on previous videos. We click on the video there. That's great in forecast. It's good for the currency. As you can see, forecast 1.9 came out 1.7%. So that's not good. So that obviously what that means is the pound's going to drop, and it's going to drop against whatever currency it's against. And in this instance, it was against the US dollar. So that came out at 7 o'clock. Okay. And as I say, the Asia session highlight from midnight to 8 o'clock. So just towards the end of the session, you had it here. But there was still a possibility to trade. You don't always have to trade the London breakout strategy. And what I've done here is, at the bottom here, we've got the MACD. And the MACD is can be a good indicator of when to enter. But so if you look here, what happens is, when the blue line crosses the red, goes above the red, for example here, you would buy, and you can see the green, these green bars means there's buying going on here. When it goes below, like for example down here, you've got these red bars, it means it's a sell opportunity. Now, I'll just explain here. Obviously, it did come out the box here on the wicks, but you don't trade on these wicks. And you can see here it's met support, but then it's gone back up again. Now, if I was trading on the 5 minutes using the MACD, I probably would enter here. But trouble is with 5 minutes, you get a lot of noise. And even though the pound's obviously really dropped a lot, it could drop even more. I expected around here that it would bounce back up again, but it didn't. So what I tend to do is I tend to look at, for example, we can look at the bigger time frames. This is the hourly. And as you can see, after that big drop, it did actually go back up again. But this is on the hourly chart. And I'm not going to trade the hourly chart. So I can go down to the 30 minutes. And as you can see again, there was a bit more of a drop there. But what I traded off, I actually traded off the 15 minutes. For the 15 minutes. And these lines here are levels, essentially. So if I explain, what happens here is, as you can see here, I got in here, approximately just on this one here. But actually, if I'll explain the lines. So these lines here, as you can see here, they're from 7:30 through to 10 o'clock. There's been resistance. It's gone down, it's come back up again, and it's not going any further. Okay, so I wouldn't be trading that yet. And then this other line here, that's where I was aiming for. But if we pop down to the 5 minute, we pop down to the 5 minutes, which is actually what I traded off. Explain it in more detail. Okay. So here on the 5 minutes, and this is what I traded off, but I looked at the 15 minutes and the high time frames for confirmation of the direction. Okay, so as you can see here, I got in approximately, where are we, 10, it was just about there, you see where this box is. and I put this box in here, and as you can see, there's resistance here, and that's from about 7:30, 7:25. It's come up here at 8:45, sorry, and it's not quite the wick. You see, it's come back down again. So that's why I didn't want to get in too early. And then you see it broke out here. So from 7:30 to about 10:15, and then it actually broke out at 10:15. So based on the fact that it's broken this range on the 5-minute, I had the confirmation on the 15-minute. That's when I went in. Okay, and I just went in at literally 4 pips a trade, looking for 20 pips, so £4 a pip, sorry, at 20 pips. That's all I'm looking for, is 20 pips. I'm not being greedy here. So £4 a pip at 20 pips, that'll be £80. So that's all I'm looking for. And as you can see here, I've drawn this box in here because you can see it stayed in a range. So if we're looking from 10:15 from when I got in, it starts to go up, and then it makes a peak there at 11:20, and then it comes down again. But you can see it's staying on top of this line here, within this box, within this range. So it hasn't broken out as yet. And then obviously I was looking at the 5 minutes as well, but I was also concentrating on the 15 minutes as well. So the 15 minutes here, 10:15, I was looking at every 15 minutes as well, because obviously, as I say, with the 5 minutes you get a lot of noise, but with the 15 minutes it was still going up until we had that at 11:30. It started to come back down again. But as you can see, it's still staying within this range. But if you look at the MACD, when I got in, the MACD goes up, and as you can see here, it's still above that red line. There's still a buy here. It's not cut across. It's not cut across here until what time? About 3:15. And you go to the 5-minute chart. I'll pick up the 5-minute. You can see here that the 5-minute, it crossed here. But if I bring the 5-minute up, as you can see here, if I was just following the MACD on the 5-minute chart, I might have actually got out here, because you can see it's a sell. But I was looking at the 15-minute chart, because I'm looking at the longer picture. Because with the 5-minute, you're going to get a lot of noise, and it's going to, obviously, there's going to be more variation, more volatility within the 5 minutes. And you can see it's still staying within that box, within the range. But then I was just looking at the 15 minutes. So I was basically going from 15 to 5 minutes. Bear in mind, I traded off the 5 minutes. But the 15 minutes, the longer picture, gave me reassurance that it was going in the right place. And as you can see, it didn't do much here, and that's between 11:45 to for about an hour there. But this, from here to 10:15 from when I got in, you're looking at, well, it's still staying within that range. But where I actually got out, and as I say, I set the limit for 20 pips. It was up here. So I went in at 13:014. It got out at 13:34, and it closed off here automatically. And I think the highest it's got is to 13:038, and that was at 1:15. So £4 a pip, 20 pips, that's £80 in a few hours. Obviously, it took longer than sometimes the London breakout strategy has, but you've got to be patient. And as you can see here, it started coming back down again. It stayed within this range here. We go back to here, we go back to 10 o'clock, 10:15 from when I went in. But now it's broken that, and it's coming back down again. And that corresponds, if you look here, with the MACD. We look at the MACD here, and this is just on a standard setting on MACD. You can get it on your brokers, but just leave it the standard setting. At 2:45, and it started coming back down again. It's gone to go back up again, but it started coming back down again. And here now we're live at 4:45, so it's actually 5 o'clock now. So the London session's finished, and at the moment the pound is coming down, but it still hasn't broken where it was at 8 o'clock in the morning. So it still hasn't actually broken the what we would call the London breakout from what was the Asian session up to 8 o'clock. As you can see here today, it's been very much in a range, and And that's why it's best not to be greedy sometimes, because I was only going for 20 pips. You know, some traders go for 30 pips. And that's where you can get caught out. So it's a good idea to keep an idea on the MAC. And as you can see, the actual buying signals here were coming down and down anyway, corresponding to this. So the MACD is a useful tool. So, you know, trading pound the US, as I say, I often do trade it on the breakout strategy. Even though I didn't get a breakout strategy signal this morning, I still made 20 pips just by looking at the higher time frames, looking at the hour, look at the hourly picture, what was going on here. So it was going up literally from 8 o'clock. And then you can literally come down. So I came down to 30 minutes. You can see it's still going up. Obviously it's coming down there. So we look there. You see the MACD, it's crossing there. And then I came down to 15 minutes just to see what the 15-minute time frame said. So if I look at the 15 minutes, still going up here, as you can see. In fact, from 8 o'clock, just from where it reached its bottom there, it's literally just, you know, a little dip there, but in those 15 minutes it's gone up. And then we get back to the 5 minutes, which is what I traded off. So I traded off the 5 minutes, but I was very much also working off the 15 minutes, because I know 5 minutes get a lot of noise. But when the bigger picture, the 15 minutes is saying it's a buy, and then obviously the 5 minutes is saying that it's going to go, then that was the time to get in. But obviously keeping an eye out on the 15 minutes longer term picture, and also looking at the 5 minutes as well. You know, that was a good trade this morning. As you can see, it's reached up there, broken outside. So that's how you can trade using the MACD. Fairly simple strategy. Makes a change from trading the London breakout strategy. I've got many videos of me trading the London breakout strategy, but this is a bit of a different one for a change. So trading the and US with the MACD. Almost forgot what trade I'd done there for a minute, but yeah. So it's a nice little way to use the MACD. And as I say, you don't need to be greedy, just 20 pips. That's all you need. You know, some traders might have thought, well, it's going up now. We'll just, you know, we'll go for 30 pips or 40 pips or 50 pips, or now we're on this upward bit, it's just going to keep going. But, you know, sometimes it's best just to get a few pips out of the market and leave it at that. So that was a quick 80 quid this morning. And that was my trading for today. So if you want to see more of my trades, then pop along to Roan Trader, and I will see you there.